It's not in the cards for you. I'm pretty good at insults, and I got the internet and a lot of free time.
I fail to see how being an unapologetic, unempathic simp to the billionaire class makes you better for this country. Grow some fucking teeth and fight these motherfuckers somehow. Because when $700 billion is cut from Social Security and in September, 72 million people are going to be homeless because they can't afford the rent. Are you fucking stupid? The current U.S. population of homeless people is 600,000. It's going to increase by tens of millions. Come on now. Quit being ridiculous. I think where we're going to find common ground is if we both like conversation, because I like finding common ground through conversation. I like a various number of topics, quantum physics, biology, astronomy, cosmology, stuff like that. Nerd shit. See, I just got my glasses today. Got me a turkey pepperoni stick. I don't know why, just something that I discovered. Maybe another viable reason to date a man that's 20 years older than you or more is he knows who he is and he knows what he wants. Really ask yourself, do these Gen Z dudes, do these millennials, do they know who they are? Do they know what they want when they're in their 30s? I don't think so. I think, like, it wasn't until 40 before you really started to know what you wanted as a man. Just realize that. Like, ask any man how old he was when he started to realize he knew who he was and what he wanted. And it's probably going to be in his mid-40s for most of these people. Most of these men are going to say by the time they were hitting 40 to 45, like I am, they know who they are and they know what they want. They're not going to change themselves like a bunch of pussies and try to accommodate women just because they're women, you know what I mean? They're not going to simp to these hoes. They're not going to just do that shit. They're not going to just knock down who they are for a bunch of women, you know, because that's bullshit. If you really want a man who's mature, knows who he is, what he wants, and is stable in a lot of different ways, you got to date a man that's at least 40 to 45, honeys. You're not going to get it from somebody in their 30s or 20s. Just trust that. It's going to be this whole thing of like, oh, what do you think of me? Am I doing this right? Am I being a good boyfriend? You're not going to get that with an older man because we already know what we can do for you to help you. You know, taking out the garbage, feeding the kids, you know, cooking food. That all comes with maturity to accept that, you know, sometimes the man is the guy that belongs in the kitchen and the woman belongs with her feet up sometimes. You know what I mean? It's not just all about the men. Sometimes women are superior and need to be treated special. Not all the time, but like they need to treat us special too. I mean, that's just dumb, obvious, me Captain Obvious in the situation. We need to be treated well too. I'm not going to go out of my way and start watching My Little Pony and a bunch of cartoons to get 20-something-year-old women into me. That's just bogus. I'm not going to do that shit. I'm not going to start listening to a ton of rap music that I don't think is really good music. I mean, I'm not saying there's no good rap and there's no good country, because there is, but I'm not one of these guys that's just kind of like, oh, now I'm into this certain culture. Now I'm a goth. Now I'm an emo. Now I'm... just stop with the whole subculturing and be a human being. I don't understand. Like, once you reach a certain age, you're just satisfied to be a man. And that's all it is. And women, too. You know, you're just satisfied to be a human being. And that all comes with maturity through age. I'm not saying all older men are mature, but, you know, look at the fucking people that are like, oh, you really want to go back to when Biden was president? Yeah, he had the strongest economy than anybody in several decades. So, yeah, I wouldn't mind going back to that. The president doesn't control inflation. You know what I mean? It doesn't control corporate price gouging. What we need to do is get rid of the lobbyists. So there's no corporate price gouging and ownership of our government. That's a mature statement. That's something that's consequentialist and needs to be paid attention to. Is we need to get rid of the money in politics. Anybody that says otherwise is a liar or doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about because they're pumped through their head this dumb Fox News bullshit and this other capitalist shit through CNN. It's all a bunch of bullshit. It doesn't need to be this way. We need to have a more democratic society. And it takes maturity to say something like that. You need to realize that maturity comes with age. But if you're like in your 20s and you're like, yeah, I agree with Lucas, you might be on the right path. If you don't, I don't know what to tell you. You're wrong, but I don't know what to tell you. I'm not sure what you mean by common ground. Most guys watch sports and play video games, and women don't watch sports and play video games. What do you mean by we need to have common ground? There's like 100,000 streaming movies over the internet. That's plenty of common ground. We could watch movies together. We could watch anime together or whatever you want to listen to together. Rap, country, I don't fucking care what you like. It doesn't bother me. But I personally don't like rap and country that much. I'm more of a rock or electronica type of guy. If you don't have common ground with me, then why should I strive to have common ground with you and change me for you? That's not a very manly thing to do. It's to change me for you. I'm just going to be who I am, and what I get is what I get. And I'm sure there's beautiful women out there because there's beautiful women out there. You know what I mean? I just want someone beautiful to fuck. That's all I really want. If you're kind to me, that's a bonus. If you're kind to the people around you, that's a bonus. But I just want someone to fuck and talk to every once in a while, too. You know what I never hear women say? Oh, I need to change my personality because none of these men like me. No, never. It's always the man that is expected to change. It's all a bunch of wokey, libtarded bullshit. Like the man should change every fucking thing about him in order to be with a woman. Even the leftists are pissed off about this because there's a lot of socialist podcasts out now. They're tired of this dumb, wokey, liberal bullshit. Oh, we can't call ourselves guys anymore. We have to walk around calling ourselves cis-hets. Shut the fuck up. You're no better than the fucking Nazis in the White House, you Trumpanzees and wokies. Shut the fuck up. Maybe instead of complaining about men so much, you should date older men because we're more mature and can handle situations better. We're also a little more experienced when it comes to life itself. I've only had 2 sex partners, but life itself, I would say I'm a little more mature than these little Gen Z dudes that you're trying to date that all look and act the same. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that's a bad thing, you know, but maybe someone that's not a perfect clone of the next guy that you dated last. You know what I mean? The typical young male of today. I'm not saying all young males are the same, but the typical young male of today. You know what they look like, you know how they act. Very conservative, very anti-woman, you know, very much into the misogynistic hip-hop lyrics and the racism and like saying the N-word even around their black friends because they're a bunch of assholes. That kind of thing that needs to go, you know what I mean? The stuff that you realize needs to go. So maybe you should date someone that's a little more mature. That's all I'm saying. A little more mature if you're going to complain about men so much. Maturity comes with age. I'm sorry, but that's just the facts. Tariffs, mass deportations, mass firing at high-level government agencies. Herbert Hoover did the same thing, which led to the Great Depression. Tell me again how Trump is a stable genius, you fucking ridiculous retards! Ageist classist hoes aren't going to change their behavior based upon Republican policy. They're going to grow up And they're going to think, oh, it's cool to be a bigot because Trump was a bigot. And, you know, all my male friends are bigots, so I might as well just be a bigot too because I'm a girl. They're all going to think that shit. And the wokies aren't doing anything to curb their ageism or classism. They'll go to the protests, but then they won't fuck dudes under their economic class or outside their generation. So I'm here with my Generation X ass thinking, the wokies and the Republicans have led us astray. No shit, Sherlock. What's really interesting is how the Republicans have gone from Trump is going to curb the price of gasoline and groceries to shut up about the gasoline and grocery prices going up. Fuck Trump. He lied to you and he's misleading all of us. And you're in the same boat. You need to get out of that boat and realize that the only possible way out of this is through more socialism. I'm not even joking. That's dead ass serious. We need more socialism, not this corporate bullshit that we've been putting up with for 40 fucking years. Even longer than that. But the Democrats have joined their side too because they're millionaires too and they get money for it. Trickle down economics just like the Republicans do through lobbyists, which the rest of the world calls legalized bribery. I'll tell you what we need to do. We need to raise the minimum wage to $30 an hour and make it impossible for the corporations to ride that wave and to raise grocery store and gasoline prices and goods and services prices when we raise the minimum wage. We need to have a price cap on everything, and we need to have a cap on what the CEOs and the corporate boards can make. Because we put a cap on disabled people, we need to put a cap on the rich and tax them at 90% like we did in the 1950s. You want prosperity? You tax the rich. Trump's an idiot. His supporters are idiots. They all sound like little fucking retards too when they talk. And then the Democrat base doesn't do anything except for rise up because the Democrats in Congress don't listen to the Democrat base. The Republicans listen to the Republican base. That's the difference. The only real difference between the two parties is the velocity in which their knees hit the floor when the money come knocking. If you want to talk about Ponzi schemes, let's talk about corporate welfare and all the money that they get for being rich. When they're rich, they get more money in this country instead of less. They're taxed more over in Europe and other countries when they're wealthy. They have a higher tax bracket and they pay a higher percentage. We pay a lower percentage for being wealthy in this country. It's all backwards. It's all backwards, you see. That corporate welfare thing is a big, huge scam. And the only way around it is to tax the rich and say, look, you're going to pay your employees a minimum wage, which has kept up with the housing values since the 1970s, or we're going to tax you even more until you leave this fucking country, and it's a bunch of small businesses that run everything. That would be the ideal situation if the big corporations would just go the fuck away. Name one damn thing that ever got accomplished by not complaining. I'll wait. Good, now you realize that complaining gets shit done. It's the only thing that gets shit done. It is the only thing that gets shit done is by complaining about it. And then you put some work into it. How would I put work into what I'm trying to find? I'm trying to find a girlfriend. I'm just trying to find a job so I have enough money to make you happy. I don't want you to be the trophy wife or the trophy girlfriend either. You should probably be my equal and not my inferior. I wouldn't like that very much. I'm a leftist. I don't like these wokey libtard idiots saying, oh, only the man has to be the provider or only the woman has to be the provider. It's supposed to be both. It's supposed to be an equal relationship. I'm not into the sub-dom culture where like the man is dominant or the woman is dominant or all this bullshit. I like equality. So sue me. Gen Z women. Dollars to donuts every dude you've ever dated has also been Gen Z. And it's probably been quite a few of them too. Your body count, I'm not really concerned about. It could be 15 fucking guys. It could be one guy. But you keep going over and over and over and over, dating dudes your own age, complaining about dudes your own age, not realizing that to you they're kind of eh. So you'll move up to millennials, and then you realize that they're kind of eh. I'm not saying Gen Z or millennials are kind of eh. I'm saying that to you, Gen Z women, they're kind of eh. So maybe you should generate love for Generation X, a forgotten generation that can please you sexually and please you romantically, because it's probably one of those two things that you keep fucking with Gen Z men going, eh. Skirt. Okay, so this is interesting, as Trump is basically causing a recession on purpose with Elon Musk. The base of the Republicans are cheering this on, but they're pissed off about the tariffs. So they're not going well with the farmers and such, and the other workers. So they're cheering on the bullshit while also not cheering on the bullshit. I don't understand Trump supporters at all. They're so fucking schizophrenic.
As an older guy interested in younger males and a libtard or whatever you want to call me,